Hello everyone, and in this video I'm going to be providing a bit of an update to a blog post that I wrote a few years ago about some Digimon that I was quite surprised aren't raisable on any virtual pets. So since then we had the Digimon Pendulum Z release obviously, and that included a few Digimon that were originally on that list. So we had Wormmon and we had Armadillomon, which, see, very surprising Digimon that weren't raisable on any virtual pet. Well, not really unless you include the D-Gather, which it was a Southeast Asia Bandai release only and doesn't really count as a traditional V-Pet. So they weren't raisable until the Pendulum Z, which only came out 2020-2021, so very recently, but basically means that they no longer count in that list of Digimon that are surprisingly not raisable. So since then we've also had Keramon X raisable, Keramon being on my original list, but Keramon himself still not raisable, even on the Vital Bracelet, which does open itself up to having a lot more of these previously unraisable Digimon, but still, Vital Bracelet, it depends on how much you include that as a virtual pet. So, continuing on, first of all, obviously, Keramon still not raisable. You have Keramon X on the DMX, but Keramon, as in standard, plain old, basic Keramon, not raisable. That's a surprising one for me. Keramon is a very nostalgic Digimon, was in the Digimon movie. Why haven't we got him yet? We got Algomon, surprise, Algomon's just green Keramon, but still no Keramon. So maybe one day, please Bandai. So that's my main surprise. Another one which is probably more of a big surprise, to be honest, is the fact that while we've had Renamon X, we've not had Renamon. Renamon was also on my original list, was raisable on the D-Gather, but isn't raisable on a virtual pet unless you count the Vital Bracelet, where Renamon is on the Renamon GP DIM as well as the Tamer's DIM. So you've got two choices there for raising a Renamon, but other than that, Renamon's not on any virtual pets, which is really surprising considering she is a main character's Digimon. You have the rest of the Tamers cast, Gilmon and Terriermon were both available on the Pendulum Progress, and Renamon was not. So that's kind of a shame. Obviously you can get her on the Digivice toys, but no actual virtual pets. So that's a surprising one, and that was surprising in my original blog, and it's still surprising that we still haven't got anything for Renamon, except if you count the Vital Bracelet or the D-Gather, which I don't count because they're not traditional virtual pets, and if you want to know more about what is and what isn't a virtual pet, I did do a video a while ago about the difference between a virtual pet and what I like to call a virtual companion. So that's on the channel, check that out if you haven't already. It's a pretty fun video, I think, anyway. Or at least, I think so. But I may be biased there. Anyway, so Renamon and Keramon, obviously. Another one that we've sort of also gotten on a not quite a virtual pet is Sparrowmon. Now, Sparrowmon did appear on the Cross Mini, but not as a Digimon that you could get, as a appearing NPC that you could merge with, which was the mechanic of the Cross Mini. So the Cross Mini, not exactly a virtual pet. How you would progress through it is you would do battles, and if you won, you would merge with it, or digicross, I guess, and you would become the next form. So not really a standard virtual pet, but also Sparrowmon wasn't raisable. It was just one of the monsters that you would encounter to fuse with. So no Sparrowmon on a virtual pet either. Maybe on the Vital Bracelet, since we've had Ballistamon available on the Vital Bracelet, I thought that maybe we could get Sparrowmon, because we've also had the Greymon and Metal Greymon and Birdramon from Cross Wars and a bunch of other Cross Wars Digimon, so hopefully it'll be nice on the Vital Bracelet. If anything, I feel like that Sparrowmon would fit really well in the Vital Bracelet, but again, I love Sparrowmon, I'm biased here. But anyway, so a lot of Cross Wars Mons in general haven't really appeared much on virtual pets or the Vital Bracelet. I think Vital Bracelet is a good way to have a lot of virtual pet Digimon that haven't appeared before appearing on something that's like a virtual pet, so far we've also, as I said, had a lot of Cross Wars Digimon popping up on the Vital Bracelet on the DIMs, so that's cool. And we did have a few of the Cross Wars Digimon appearing on the Pendulum Z as well. So the Pendulum Z was really good for that. All these Digimon that haven't been raisable before, they decided to put them on the Pendulum Z. Big fan of that. I finally have Valkyriemon on something that isn't the Pendulum Cycle. Huge, huge giant fan of that. Because it means I get to have Valkyriemon without having to deal with the Pendulum Cycle mechanics. Yay! Everyone wins! But anyway, so those are a couple of the Digimon that are still surprisingly not raisable. Honestly, why Renamon and Keramon? Why have we not had them on a virtual pet that isn't the Vital Bracelet? And why isn't Keramon even on the Vital Bracelet? It's just weird. Another thing before I wrap up is I would really like to see some Appmon on a virtual pet. I feel like there's so many designs, and it's honestly criminal that they design so many Appmon for the use of the video game and the Appmon card game and the 3DS game, and they had such great designs and they're just not utilized at all. They're just sitting there being designed. I'm waiting for the day they give them the Cross Wars treatment and release them into the wild, and we just get all this sort of like, okay, this one's a child level, this one's an adult level, like we did for Cross Wars, so we can finally see Appmon in the card game, and then in the Vital Bracelet. I feel like that'd be a really good thing to do, especially because there's so many great designs. Like, Weathermon is just a sun cat on a cloud, and it evolves to a dragon on a cloud called Weatherdramon. It's very, very cute. Appmon is so good, and what is even better about Appmon is the amount of characters that they designed for Appmon. Because while they're not quite Digimon, that means that they couldn't just use all the Digimon that they've already used. Like, you watch a new season of Digimon. This just turned into Appmon video. Surprise! Instead of, like, having a Digimon season, which, you might get 3 new Digimon plus their evolutions, and then everything else is just the same Digimon. In Ghost Game, we've still got Mummymon, we've still got Arukenimon, we've still got Vamdamon. These are all Digimon from, the infancy of the franchise, and now we've got all these other Digimon, but we're still getting the old ones. Appmon, they had to invent all these Digimon to fill their spots, so my answer for what else should be raisable, all of the Appmon, because it's so varied and so everything is just, Appmon's good. Watch Appmon if you haven't already. It's on Crunchyroll. Why haven't you watched Appmon yet? That is offensive to me. I've done so many videos just telling people to watch Appmon. But anyway, watch Appmon, and they should all be raisable on virtual pets, especially the Vital Bracelet. It'd be a good combination, because Pulsemon and Dokomon look the same and they could fight to be friends. I love that. Anyway, those are some Digimon that and Appmon, I guess, which are not raisable and I think should be. I've definitely forgotten some, because there's definitely much more. There's so many Digimon and they're not used. There's always like, how about Agumon? But anyway, so let me know what Digimon you think is just too surprising that haven't been on virtual pets yet and should be. Let me know in the comments. Like this video if you've watched Appmon or you think you're going to give Appmon the chance. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I talk about Appmon a lot and you might want to be persuaded into watching Appmon. I don't know. But anyway, so of course, see you in the next video. Bye!